I've just been well, it's whatever you can call this situation. Lockdown. Well, tier 3 is just another word for lockdown.
3.
Yeah, that's it. Might as well call it that, because fucking 90% of the population in this country are locked out. You know, they're all in tier 3. So what is the fucking point?
Unless you live in London,
yeah,
cool. or you live in London and you've got a holiday home in Cornwall, you're all right.
And the Isle of Wight's all right.
The Isle of Wight, yeah.
But it's not like they can fucking go anywhere, is it? So.
I don't know the crack really, because I'm pretty sure we're coming out of lockdown. We're going into tier 3.
Yeah.
So you're allowed to meet up with your friends and family in Primark.
Yeah.
But not in your own house.
Yeah. Or you can't go to a restaurant.
Or a restaurant. Or a pub.
Right. Or a pub.
But any shop you sound.
Yeah.
You can go for a walk in town, but you can't walk your dog around your village.
No. I've just lost it, mate. You know, they brought some rules out at Christmas, aren't they? You're not even allowed to kiss your relatives, are you?
Yeah. I'd grass on myself.
I mean, who the fuck's going to grass on you, really? Yeah, I just like, who comes up with these rules? I don't know, mate. I mean, I know one thing, McDonald's will still be bloody open.
Mate, I'm sure we were saying it earlier, weren't we? Like, McDonald's would be open if there was an apocalypse. I think if there was a 80% zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, McDonald's would still be there. Yeah. They'd have a themed burger as well, an apocalypse burger, wouldn't they, or something?
Stupid, like probably one of the worst food marketing campaigns I've ever seen in my life is the way they do these, like, you know, like these national, like they'll have like a South African burger or the American burger.
Yeah.
The American burger will be exactly the same as any other burger, but it'll have like onion rings on it or something.
Do you know, there's a film that resonates with me, right? Have you ever seen Falling Down with Michael Douglas? Right, where it goes, it's just appeared on Netflix, mate. I highly recommend it. It's a brilliant film. It's a guy who's had enough of life, and he goes on a bit of a rampage, and he has a dig. It's a dig at McDonald's, but this fast food restaurant isn't McDonald's, and he goes in, and I'm not going to give the story away, but he's armed with a machine gun. Right? He doesn't hold it up. He just goes in and he's carrying it in this bag. Nobody knows, and he wants to order breakfast, right? And it's 11:minute, and they've stopped doing breakfast. Right? It's like, ain't the customer always right? And you know, so he loses it. He pulls this gun out, shoots at the ceiling, and they say, right, we'll do it. And then he says, look, no, don't go to the hassle. I'll just have one of them burgers instead. Get out. And it looks like, you know, when you see on the picture, the McDonald's is all nice and juicy, it's all plump.
Oh, yeah.
You've got the nice trimming of salad hanging outside, and the cheese is just right. Yeah. And then you get it out of the box, and it's deflated, flat, doesn't taste of anything. And people just go nuts over this. People, I mean, I've seen people, where I live, mate, there's a drive-through and the car park is rammed, mate, on the Saturday, because obviously there's nowhere else.
Oh, can you remember when we was in the full national lockdown at the start, and obviously even McDonald's closed?
They did.
How that happened, I don't know. But even McDonald's closed, and I can remember when, you know, we started trickling back to work, and then they said McDonald's was going to open again. And they were blocking the roads, mate. People who were getting to work couldn't get to work because of people queuing up for McDonald's on the main road.
Yeah.
Like, how can you miss McDonald's that much?
Yeah. It's not that nice, mate.
No.
It's like,
at McDonald's, you can get a black coffee for £1. That's the best thing about McDonald's.
Yeah.
And if you ever buy anything from there, it's complete and utter impulse, you know, and every single time you regret having it, but it's always an impulse, isn't it?
It is, mate. It is. It's.
I genuinely think this world would be a better place without that. So without that food chain, McDonald's.
Oh, it would be. Yeah.
The world would get just something. It won't have that intense like farming that McDonald's use. It won't have like the people queuing up in the cars to get it. It won't be these people that are eating it.
Yeah. No, nobody who eats at I'm not tying everybody with same brush, but there's a lot of people that tend to eat at McDonald's who don't know how to use a litter bin.
No,
that winds me up. That is my biggest. You know, you see it.
Yeah, when you see a whole bag of McDonald's wrapper.
Yeah.
On the road. You know what I mean? Yeah. No need for it.
Yeah.
Literally no need for that.
I think I can spend better days, mate, than sat in a car park queuing for McDonald's, then sit and eating it in a car park. I just like
ramming it in your face and all, isn't it? Just ramming it in.
No, it's
yeah.
That's the state of the world, mate. I'm afraid at the minute. It's.
I just don't understand if people have never made their own burger. You know, people have never made their own burger. They're missing out. Like,
yeah.
I think you get 10 times more out of making a big fat burger that you've made yourself.
Definitely, mate.
You wanted it, the nicest bread.
Somebody gave me. It's not a secret anymore because I'm going to give it away. But a secret recipe that we use to bind the burger together. Have you ever tried using cheese crackers, the proper flavoured cheese crackers like the Ritz cheese? Break them up, mate, and put them in to bind mincemeat together and cook them. Mate.
Yeah, I do use crackers, but not cheese crackers. I bet they're nice.
Yeah, cheese crackers, mate. Yeah, give that a go, definitely.
Yes.
So that's the thing. If McDonald's watch this, that'll be on the menu, and that'll be down to us.
Cheese cracker binded burger. they don't need crackers to bind their burgers.
We could start our own franchise. Yeah, the Lincoln Table cheese.
McDonald's.
Yeah, McDonald's.
Mate, I don't think McDonald's need crackers to bind their burgers.
I wouldn't use we'd have to have our own mascot. I don't know about the imp. I'd probably have the psychotic clown off the It film. Mind you want to sell the burgers, wouldn't you? You know.
Yeah, well, that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. But.
Yeah, I can just imagine that. You know, like if there was, because I suppose especially in our generation, this is a close we've got to something on a global scale like this pandemic. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But can you imagine how just ill-equipped, especially our country, are?
Yeah.
For something major, something like, you know, people could argue that the coronavirus is major, but come on, it's not, is it? Look in history. Look at the world.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not like we have to keep backing ourselves up and saying
yeah.
We're not taking away from the seriousness of some people's lives, but in the grand scheme of things, imagine if there was an apocalypse. Imagine if there was something where not a lot of people survived. I mean, not a lot of people survived.
No.
You can't. There's no save the NHS because the NHS won't be there. You know.
No.
How would people deal with it? You know, how would you deal with it?
I'll tell you what. Who would survive out of stores? Amazon would, because people would try and buy some sort of weapons or
that's it, yeah.
Amazon would jump on the bandwagon of apocalypse kits.
Yeah, they would, wouldn't they?
McDonald's would definitely survive.
They'll have the apocalypse burger, won't they?
Yeah, they will. Yeah. Some beer company will jump on the bandwagon of it. Yeah.
Well, to me, if that's the way we're going, if we're in apocalypse and we've got a gun, a burger, and a beer, it sounds pretty bliss to me. Come on, we've just our apocalypse that we've just been through. I'm still at work.
Yeah.
How pressing is that?
I know.
What sort of apocalypse you got to keep working through? I know.
Never. And that's the thing, you know.
You never see that on the Hollywood movies, do you? You never see that on the Hollywood movies when there's a world pandemic you know, the whole world's going to shit, but you still got to go to work. The world's going to shit. What am I working for? Who am I working for?
Oh dear, mate. At least the way we can look at it, though, mate, we are the lucky ones. At least we are at the moment, and I do feel sorry for the people. Obviously, that's why going back to the McDonald's scenario, it winds me up to see that they're going to be the ones that survive out of this when there's so many restaurants and they're already struggling. You know, a lot of restaurants, it's just not worth the while opening at the moment just to do a shitty bit of takeaway, and because people won't bother, because people want that experience of going out and eating. And so
it's just like, I know like we're privileged in the way that we go out to restaurants and spend money and stuff, but even in its most primitive form, like, you know, eating in a bloody cave, eating in a mud hut, you know, with family and friends, it's like, it's primitive. It's like it's natural. It's what we're supposed to do.
It is.
You know, I do think that as like societies, especially like local societies and in you know little cities and towns, take it for granted. They take little restaurants and little cafes and things for granted because they are like, I think they're massively important. I do.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
You know, I do. I know not everybody can afford to do that sort of thing all the time, but you know.
The thing is, mate, it's same thing again. Yeah, McDonald's is great for, say, a family that, yeah, let's nip out and have you take your kid out for a ride in the car, and you know we'll go and grab a bite to eat. But to sit down as a family in a restaurant and have that experience of being waited on, you eat good food, you trying different food.
You get respected and treated like you're a paying customer as well.
Yes, you do.
I feel like going to these places like McDonald's and you know the big chains. I'll tell you what, even Weatherspoons, you know, the same shit. They're just, you know, staff don't care about you. I'm not, you know, you can't blame the staff because they're
surviving the apocalypse, mate, and all.
Yeah, Weatherspoons, yeah.
Oh yeah, that'll survive.
Oh, it's a fucking grim world, isn't it? Weatherspoons, McDonald's, and fucking Amazon. What a grim old world.
Oh dear.
I saw a meme actually on Facebook. I don't know, yesterday or whatever, at some point, and it was just like, you know, when you see a meme, it was like three blokes attacking one bloke that was on the floor, and it was like the government, the big corporations, i.e. Amazon, McDonald's, and everything. Another one of the people beating the other person up was the COVID legislation. You know what people are saying. You know what the people who are heading these legislations, and then the person on the floor getting beat up was local businesses. You know, just getting smashed by everyone because they're the ones that they've got nothing. They've got no power, nothing.
No.
And it's almost like, I feel like it's highlighted. How do I start this? You know, there's so many people that have worked like me and you, who have worked so hard just trying to get out of the grind, trying to get out of the 9 to 5, trying to stop working 9 or 10 hours a day for somebody else, and thought, you know what, I'm gonna put everything I've got into setting up on my own. And I feel like in the past like 5 or 10 years, there has been a bit of a revolution in that sort of thing, haven't they? People setting up.
Certainly now, people. Go on, mate.
Well, you know, people setting up these little, like, really just going outside the box. Young lads buying properties, you know, young people buying cafes and setting up shops and really like trying to put, especially in Lincoln, because we're seeing the city get bigger, investing their lives into these little businesses. And then just like that, with a click of a finger, overnight, all this legislation's come in and just absolutely squashed everybody who's in that position. They've squashed them, gone.
Yeah.
And not absolutely a care in the world, really, other than saying, you know, we'll pay you. You can't take that away from a government. They're paying them, but they're also putting these things in place, you know. So it's like a double-edged sword. We're stopping you doing, you know, earning your money, but we're going to give you a bit to get out of it. Whereas, like you say, these big multinational corporations that are already absolutely stacked with millions or billions and trillions of dollars, they're thriving more than ever.
Did you see that video I sent you on Rishi Sunak the other day?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Which is just like we've mentioned in a previous podcast. It's complete hypocrisy.
Yeah,
complete hypocrisy.
Anybody that's going to watch this, that if you Google Rishi Sunak or
his family background, his history, his wife, his family's wife,
go on the Alex Belfield podcast.
Yeah.
His family are going to make a lot of money out of this.
Shout out Alex Belfield. He's fantastic. If you don't follow him,
brilliant.
If you don't follow him, you should do, because he's
everybody should follow Alex Belfield. He's brilliant.
He's a truth talker. Probably not everyone's cup of tea, I can imagine, especially if you're very left wing. But then again, if you're very left wing, I can't imagine you watching this either. But yeah, it's hypocrisy at its finest, I think, isn't it?
It is.
And I'm telling you now, we can go back to it again. I can imagine if there's an apocalypse, mate, it's these sort of people that are set up for it.
Oh, they are. Yeah,
they'll be the ones that get through it and thrive on it. They'll thrive on it, just like they're thriving on this right now.
Yeah, they are, mate.
Like I'll tell you now. Even if you're not into conspiracy theories and you're not into the conspiracy theory of this whole pandemic, I'm telling you now, the people that are on the face of the media that are pushing everything to do with it, as in lockdowns, vaccines, and everything, if you did a little bit of digging on them, they would have some very heavily invested interests in the outcome of it.
And a lot of people, this is going back to the mainstream media again. People follow that, but if you go further down the rabbit hole, like we mentioned in previous podcasts, you actually look at all these backgrounds of all these politicians that have served in office, all the links they've got to these multinational companies and how rich they've become to come out of power because they've been promised. And all it's down to is a bit of back scratching. And
this is one thing that pisses off about the media. It's like when you've got the likes of Donald Trump. No, I know it's not our government. It's not our issue. But the left-wing media are quick to jump on somebody like Donald Trump, who's got businesses and makes money elsewhere. But he already had that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
What people don't understand is these people that are in our government have made their millions through the government, through our money.
Yeah. Another good for anybody who's watching. Tony Blair's a prime example. When he was in office, he wasn't financially well off. Now he's a multi-millionaire because he's going around the world giving advice to dictators in power. And he's had investments. He's had companies like Goldman Sachs invest in him. He's had connections.
Not only that, his property as well. You've got these MPs that are heavily invested in property developing that are passing laws and legislations off that people can build on green belts, and they can build on green belts and floodplains and stuff like that. This is why you're getting housing estates and extortionate rates for housing with absolutely minimal or no affordable housing, which is supposed to be paramount.
They're all washing their hands, mate, with dirty money. They all are, and if people can't see that, it's a lot of people, everybody. I think everybody's fed up, aren't they, at the minute? And they're just like, but if you look deep enough, you'll see definitely.
Just see some clarity in it. I don't think you should be able to have multi-million-pound businesses if you're in government and stuff. Not that are going to benefit you by being in the government anyway, because you're going to have ulterior motives, aren't you?
Oh, they all have. They all have. You know.
And I think the wages should be fair throughout it as well, which I think would impact massively on the state of our government, because if they're not going to get lifetime pensions after they retire and stuff like that, and you know these and perks of the job, as in they get to pay for their second houses and stuff via taxpayers' money. I'm sure people who are in the government are people that are going to love it. You know,
Yeah.
you don't get nurses working in the NHS because they want to earn loads of money, do you?
No, you don't. You don't.
Because they're passionate about the job. You don't get firemen because they're going to become millionaires after being a fireman. They're passionate about saving people. Same as police. You know, why would you want to work on the front line of being a policeman? You know, it's not for money, is it?
People in the armed forces, they're there because they want the security, but like what you say, passionate about doing that is something they believe in. They're wanting to serve the country. They want to make something of themselves, and that's.
Mate, you've got people on the front line getting shot at, watching their friends die. They're not much more than minimum wage.
We're not, no.
I mean, when you've got people sat on a bench going, I know, for $100,000 a year for the rest of their life.
Yeah, and it's not them on the front line, is it?
No.
And to be honest with you, do they give two hoots about these people? No.
Sure they don't, no.
They might preach it for a little while afterwards, saying, "Oh yeah, we've got a brow pad," but you get years down the line, they'll not care.
I'm sure. You know, we can't tarnish every MP with the same brush, because I'm sure there's a lot that really want to do great. You know, it's just a shame there's a lot more that don't. They're quite self-absorbed. You know, we've gone off track on an apocalypse, but I feel like you could almost, we're almost in one, aren't we?
We are.
The state of our politics. What, you know, we still haven't passed Brexit yet. What's going on with that?
That was 4 years ago, mate. Over 4 years ago.
What did they chuck the vote out for if it was never going to be a thing? How hard can it be to cut ties?
Yeah.
If that was a plan, if that was a clear rolled out plan, we want to offer this vote out.
I think deep down, mate, there's something going on, and they seem to be like staggering it, and I can't understand why. And I just think there's the majority of politicians are in the House of Parliament don't want it. They don't want us to leave it.
Whatever side you voted on, though, I think I'd be pissed off if I voted leave or stay.
Yeah,
because
I know a lot of people.
There's been no outcome of it.
I can tell. I mean, I'm not ashamed of what, and I shouldn't be. I voted to leave. Yeah. A lot of people who voted to leave were being tarnished as being racist. It wasn't about that.
No.
It's not about that. It's nothing to do with that. It's about getting control
of our political system. Yeah.
That's and control of our finances. Simple as.
Yeah.
But why is it dragging on so long? You know why?
I keep hearing snippets of it now. Every now and again, I'll watch the news, listen to the news on the radio, and every now and again, I'll just hear this little snippet of Brexit. I'm just like, almost now, there's that much crap on the news with all this coronavirus stuff. It's almost like not relevant.
No.
People fell out with their own families arguing about Brexit.
Yeah.
Who vote and who wasn't going to vote.
No.
We're in the apocalypse, Mark. We're in it.
We are.
It's a temporary apocalypse. That's how we've got to fight our way out of it.
Hey, at least one thing, Matt. If things come to the worst, at least we can get a job at McDonald's.
Very true.
Yes, we can.
Weatherspoons, yeah.
Or Costa Coffee. Costa Coffee would survive.
I'll tell you now, I won't ever step foot. Unless it's 9 a.m. and I'm getting on a train with the lads to go somewhere, back to a gig or a football match, I'll never step foot in a Weatherspoons again.
Right.
I've had a bad experience over this, because obviously we work on building sites, so you know, we go for a breakfast on a Friday, don't we? It's just a tradition of working on site, and we run out of, obviously, saw this COVID thing's a bit weird. Some shops are shut and some aren't. So we ended up going to Wetherspoons. A couple of us have been going. We went there, mate, and I was basically, you just treat like dogs. It was horrible. They spoke to you like shit. If you didn't quite understand, I don't know how these old boys that go into, these the older generation that use Wetherspoons all the time, how they've dealt with this, how they deal with the staff and the way they speak to you and the way they treat you.
A lot of the staff, mate, and I'm going to say this, and I'm sorry if I'm stereotyping anybody, and you can leave hateful comments.
Fuck Wetherspoons. I don't like them anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to be real harsh now, mate. They are a bunch of, because I've had a bad experience. I'll come to this in a minute. They are a bunch of lefty snowflake train spotting students that fucking work behind there who think they know it all. That's it, mate.
Just talk how you feel sometimes, Mark. I don't like the way you hold stuff back.
No. I'm glad I've said that, and I'll stand by that. I will stand by that, because I had, 4 years ago, we went to visit some friends in Leeds, and I'd had 1 pint at the bar, and I went to get another round of drinks, and I walked up to the bar. I had a young snot-nosed kid behind the bar. Like, I got basically straight away, I thought, well, there's other people queuing. And he says, what can I do for you? And I said, can I have a drink, please? And
what did you ask for?
Yeah, I can't remember, it's pint of Guinness and something else. And he says, no, sir. He says, we I think you've had too much to drink. I went, I beg your pardon. How do you work that one out? And he says, if you've got issues, take it up with the manager. And I was like,
I'll fucking get the manager then.
Sat down. I got the manager out, and he come out and he says, yeah, I was watching you on CCTV, because they all have these Dick McDonough mics in, don't they, when they're behind the bar? Yeah. And he says, I didn't like the way you approached the bar. I says, well, how the fuck would you want me to approach it? You know what I mean? What was I doing to approach it?
That Jane from In Between.
Yeah.
Give it a dance on the way in.
And they couldn't give me an explanation of why, and I just thought, what is this world coming to? And that is just like, I've had a little bit of a hatred for Wetherspoons for and some of the excuses, mate, they come out with, I'm not a big fan, and
especially when you're already a little bit like, I didn't really want to be here anyway. You know what I mean? and then you get a bad service after you've already disagree, don't want to be in there yourself.
Well, but this is another thing, mate. The way the guy who owns that chain has treated his staff.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, they've still managed to stay open. Well, not stay open at the minute, but because they're serving food.
Oh, they'll be straight back open when it comes around. Yeah. I didn't think, to be honest, Mark, this episode was just going to be us slagging every other corporation off.
I'll tell you what, mate. I'm just sick of seeing I know a lot of people, mate, that are really trying hard in this, and they're just getting shat on from a great height, and it annoys me. All the little businesses, people that are trying that have had to close.
As well, obviously, if you're on any sort of social media, you would have seen videos or stories from gym owners that have been trying to fight this.
Yeah.
Which I tell you, I love working out at home anyway. It's free. Just before this happened, obviously I was working near a gym anyway, and it made sense for me and another lad to train in the morning at this gym before we started work, because it was next door to literally a part of our site. So we was going there, having a shower and stuff, and the restrictions they put in place, I'm telling you now, this gym was safer than our place of work.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that me and the other lad were training together and we're living in the same house, that was the only actual risk of actually spreading it. The gym was absolutely immaculate. Everybody was separate. They moved everything apart. It was getting clean while you were using it.
Well, this is another thing. Right, this is where me and you we look at the bigger picture and we ask the questions. Right, how come we can't train at a gym, but a load of celebrities can go on? I'm a celebrity and mingle together and all sit in a big.
Exactly. I know they've done this quarantine thing, haven't they?
I know they've probably all been tested, but we don't know where that crew's going in the evening time. There's cameramen, there's producers,
exactly.
stuff like that on it.
Everyone's doing it.
Yeah, and yet footballers can still play football, but you can't work out at a gym.
See, like it's hypocrisy again. Like I saw just on the media, what's her name, Rita Ora.
Yeah.
She just came out and apologised because she had a party for her birthday, didn't she? Rented out a restaurant. This was during this lockdown, so a national lockdown. She rented out a restaurant and had a party with 30 other people or something like that. And she's basically what she's done. She's come out and said, "Sorry, I'll just voluntarily pay the 10 grand fine."
Yeah.
Now, what sort of fucking hypocrisy is that?
Yeah, that's it.
Like, what we'll do, right, is if you're an average Joe who probably earns double that a year, which a lot of average, normal working class people earn 20 grand a year, that's sometimes if you're lucky.
That's pennies to her. That's loose.
Exactly. That's half of a year's wage, if not more, to some working class people, some people. And she just said, "I'm sorry, I'll voluntarily pay 10 grand, But you've still had 30 people at a party in a restaurant.
Yeah. But you're going to get some people saying, well, at least she's put her hand up and she's paid it. Yeah, but it's still not the point. She's actually got away with that. It's like she's saying, well...
It wouldn't matter if she paid £1 million to us, would it? It's still like, okay, so you can do that because you can afford it, We can't because we can't afford it.
I don't know, mate. It's fucking...
This is what it comes down to, mate. We're gonna have to buy get our underground bunkers sorted out while we've got money and a job. Get them built in the garden.
Yeah.
Get all our stocks piled up. I'll tell you now, mate. All these preppers. What do they call them? They call them preppers, don't they?
Doomsday preppers.
Doomsday preppers, mate. They'll all be now just like, this is fantastic. I can finally justify wasting 15 years of my life saving tins of beans, building caves. I don't know, Mark. What we're going to do? What would we like? If this is now going to be the narrative for the future, what's going to be the next strain of world gloom? What we're going to be living through?
Oh,
I sometimes feel like we've got the.
I'd hate to think of it, mate. I really we've had. I don't know, mate. It's.
I'm just. You know what I'm a bit more annoyed about than anything about this COVID-19 is every single year we've got the cold, which is the coronavirus. Yeah. Common cold. It's a virus that we've never been able to get on top of.
Yeah.
Makes you ill every year. Pretty much guaranteed you're gonna get a cold.
Yeah.
We've got the flu, which is a bit more. It's a coronavirus, but it's another one that's you might get it, you might not. But most people have had the flu, haven't they?
Yeah.
More than once.
I know what's going to happen. There's going to be a massive growth in population of rabid squirrels, and they're going to eat all the food on the planet.
Grey squirrels and all the ones, the ones
that they're going to eat all the food off the planet, steal the food out of your fridge, but the only place we're going to get food from is McDonald's.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen.
So everyone's going to be so fat we can't work.
Yeah. So I just think that's it. Rabid squirrels, mate.
Rabid squirrels and obese McDonald's eating people.
Yeah.
So basically, the whole world's going to turn into America.
It is. Yeah.
Because they've got a really bad squirrel problem, haven't they? A great squirrel problem, and they're all fat from McDonald's.
Yeah, and they sent the fuckers over here, didn't they, to keep
All squirrels, they fucked them all off. They don't hit them, but they fucked them all off.
Yeah. I don't know. It's oh dear, mate. So that's it. That's what we've got to look forward to.
Oh, roll on Doomsday, Mark. That's all I can say. As long as I'm still fitting toilets, I'll be all right.
Well, people will still need them, mate, in the apocalypse.
So what about us? We can still do this, can't we?
What's that, mate?
Apocalypse. We can still speak shit to everybody.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. We'll just make it even more doom and gloom.
I can still have people coming up to me at work saying, "What's your podcast about, then, mate?"
Yeah.
Well, we just talk shit.
Find out. Fucking what shit?
We just talk shit. Yeah, about what? Let's have a look. Get on it. Subscribe.
I still can't believe how many people are out there. What is a podcast? Really?
I know. It seems to be in our world, though, Mark. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It seems to be in our world, doesn't it?
It does, mate. It does. But I know. Talking of like podcast channels, there's a lady called Anna Breeze. I didn't realise she'd been deplatformed for. Have you ever come across her? No, she's been deplatformed from YouTube and she doesn't. Yeah, she's a bit out there, but not.
What, like, does she get naked and that?
No, it's not one of them, mate. It's not one of them. She's very, very like on the same wavelength as Alex Belfield, but she interviews people on the street, and they've deplatformed her. So
why? Because they've said something that she doesn't like. They don't like.
Yeah. I'll just.
I mean, what? Like, what's deplatformed?
Just. You get so many strikes, don't you, on YouTube? If there's something that they'll remove certain content and tell you once, and if you do it twice more after that, that's it. You get removed. You get struck off. That, yeah.
I'll tell you, I'm gonna end this. I want to end this on a question for our the people that are watching. Is I put this on my Facebook as well. I don't know if I sent this to you, but. It was, if China managed to eradicate the virus, so Wuhan, where this virus originated, so China with a very, very large population, have almost managed to eradicate it. It's gone. Yeah. And they've not had a vaccine. Without a vaccine, there's been no talk of it. There's no vaccine made yet. What's the big hoorah in Great Britain especially, and America, of a vaccine? Why is the big rush for a vaccine when there's already been, I'd say, the leaders in this coronavirus outbreak, because it started there, have done it without it? Yeah. Why are we so hot on it? Can anybody watching say, give me, I want it as knowledge for myself.
And how come
not as a trick question? I want to know myself. Is there a reason?
You've made a very, very good, valid point there, Matt. How come we don't hear anything from China now since this has happened? The outbreak. We don't know what. I mean, you can't even get the stats up of how many people have died from COVID in China. That doesn't.
You know what? I put this out on Facebook because I saw.
What?
Yeah. I saw this on Facebook. I put it out on Facebook and I asked that same question, and somebody came back to me saying it's China. They could have had a vaccine. There was talks about it, and they've not told anybody. I'm saying, so does that mean that our country, our media, picks and chooses when they want to get involved in China? Because I'm pretty sure a few months ago, as portrayed on our media, they could pinpoint with pinpoint accuracy, and I mean down to the postcode, down to the address where this virus came from.
Yeah.
But when it comes to something else, they can't say what's going on in China. You know.
No. Yeah.
I just think it's very. I'm not. I don't know. I don't like to say too much about it because I'm opinionated on it, and I see it from my side, not many other sides at the moment because I can't see it. You know. But where's it's just a question. It genuinely is just a question. If one country can do it without it,
yeah,
why are we pushing for it? Is it because we can't get a handle on it, or is it because they want to sell a vaccine? Simple question.
It's like what we said earlier on, mate, in the video. There's more of an agenda with this. Yeah, it's great that we've got a vaccine, but it seems to have come around quick. There's more of an agenda. And if people Google how like the people that are in power at the minute, not just politicians, businessmen that have got shares and money invested in these pharmaceutical companies that are developing this vaccine, you're shocked.
Yeah, you know, I'm not saying it's all revolved around this.
No,
around conspiracy theories, because sometimes people can take advantage of situations. You know.
Yeah. Definitely.
Which does happen a lot. People can take advantage of situations that are already there, which then when you look on the face of it, people like you and me can analyse it and say, well, actually, it's a big scam because he's involved and he's involved. Sometimes these people can jump on these situations, can't they?
Yeah.
So it can look like something else because it's been manipulated by certain people who can manipulate it. Does that make sense?
Do you know what? Talking about things like that, somebody made a video on YouTube while we were in lockdown, and it was called like a visit from yourself in the future, where this woman sat just before like COVID come about. She sat in a kitchen at home and she gets a visit from her future self, saying like, you know, be prepared. You know, this is going to happen, and she gives her a few warnings about what's coming up, and said, if you want to make some money, she said, strongly invest in Zoom, as if to say, well, yeah, if she does it, because that's what people are going to communicate on. And you think to yourself, if you know what you knew, I know this sounds awful, and people are going to hate me for saying this. Right? Would you jump on that bandwagon knowing what you know now?
But this is my take on conspiracy theories at large as well.
Yeah.
So when people say, you know, we've said it as well, there's people in our government who are heavily invested in the vaccine rollout, you know. Which is true. There is people in our government. There is people of power. There is people who are pushing this narrative, right? Which is not to say that the narrative is false. No. That's exactly what you've just said there. These people are at the very start of the information that's coming from this virus.
Yeah.
So they'll know. There's people who knew about this virus in probably January or December, maybe. It's coming from China, or maybe even before that. You know.
Yeah.
You know, so if there was big talks of it, there would have been scare. There would have been massive talks around our governments and different governments around the world. If people had money to invest, right, enough money to invest, most of these people will have accountants or people who have control over their money or over the sale of their money. Why the hell would they not say, look, at this stage, the only way that we're going to get out of this is by having a vaccine, because it's quite it's going to have a detrimental effect on our economy, our government, and the only way we're going to control it is by a decent vaccine. So we're going to have to put a lot of resources into finding a vaccine, developing a vaccine, and once we have done, obviously it's going to be a global thing, not just a thing. So if you had some money to invest, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Exactly like all this Bitcoin shite, you know. Yeah. Nobody even knows what Bitcoins are. Even the people that know what Bitcoins are, they still don't know what they are because they don't exist. But they happily put their money out because they know it's going to make a return. And this is why I think has happened in this situation. I think it's a real thing that really does need a vaccine, because there is vulnerable people that will die unnecessarily. You know, whether people want to call it fate or the way life goes, you're going to get ill and you're going to die. There's a way that we can stop it. You know, if you're 80 years old and you've got another 10 years in you, but if you catch a virus, you'll die. Why wouldn't you have a vaccine? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
If I was 80 years old and I needed a vaccine because there was a potential that I could die from whatever was floating around.
The thing is, me and you have had this conversation, and people are going to, because of the situation that has gone on for the last 9 months, people are going to go for it because they want to go back to normal. If it gives them a chance of going on holiday, people are going to take it. And I'm not saying, nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to die. Yeah, we're not COVID deniers. We know this is a real thing. But it's the way it's got to, this is our ticket out of it, and it's the way we're being held to ransom.
But but I also think this is the media as well. I don't think they are being held to ransom. You know, I think the media is just portraying it as something else, because when you actually break it down, you know, I've watched these little updates, coronavirus updates, and it's not even Walter Mitty, whatever his bloody name is, that speaks out, and Boris Johnson. They've all said it's not the way our country works. We're Great Britain. We're not a dictatorship where nobody's going to be forced to have it. You can still go away. They want it for the vulnerable, which I hope they stick to that. You know?
I've not heard that recently, mate. Yeah. To be fair, I haven't heard that, because obviously, like yourself, I've stayed away from.
Yeah, because you can easily get misled via other sources of media. You know, because people love that shit. You know, if one company says, you know, we're thinking about people not using us, Ticketmaster or some sort of airline, you know.
With the government saying that, right, that now the government will say that, we're not going to be a dictatorship, but then when it comes to insurances saying, well, you know, we won't cover you unless you take this, are there going to be other ways around it? Are there going to be other companies that use it? Holiday companies, well, if you want to go, you've got to. Do you see where I'm coming from?
But then couldn't you break that down though? Couldn't you break that down? You can still get insured. Just don't insure me for COVID-19.
Yeah.
If you're that confident in yourself and your own health, and you know, I'd like to touch wood, obviously. Touch wood. I do believe that I am. You know, I will be sound, so I could happily fly to Europe like we do every year.
Yeah. And
be insured for everything else, trips, slips, falls, like I am in general life anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and be happy that if I caught COVID-19, I'll brush it off like I would any other flu or virus.
Yeah, exactly.
Like some people aren't that fortunate, you know.
No.
Some people aren't that fortunate to believe in their own health and fitness or their age, that they know that they're going to have to have it, which is.
Well, only time will tell, Matt.
Yeah,
we'll see. And well, the question you raised earlier, mate, very, very valid.
Give us some comments and
comments on that.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Let us know your views. We're just bamboozled little boys, aren't we, Mark? We don't know anything.
We're just clueless, mate. Like the people who work in Wetherspoons.
Yeah. Ask us a question, we'll tell you to fuck off. That's what I usually do. That's what happens in Wetherspoons.
I'm not stereotyping everybody who works there, but with the experience I've had, I'm sorry, guys. It's
Well, I feel like this chat went a different way to what we expected, Mark. But it was, I think it was needed to get off our chest.
It was, yeah. We need it, mate. And I think at the end of the day, me and you seem to be covering, but this is the topic at the minute. This is what's happening in life, and it needs to be talked about. At the end of the day,
when we get off, we might be able to give some more life experiences when we start living our life again. But until then,
yeah.
Yeah.
Till then, we're stuck with McDonald's, I'm a Celebrity, and
COVID-19.
COVID-19. Yes.
Anyway, on that note, leave us some comments and get back to us all.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yes, we will, and we'll see you next podcast. Definitely. We've got a cracking one for Christmas, guys.
Yeah.
So keep watching.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
And yes, we have. We've got Santa on. The real one.
He won't be allowed. He won't be allowed in Britain this year. I'm telling you now.
No.
He'll be out. Anyway, peace out, guys. Thank you.
All right. See you guys.